Okay, it is now 3 p.m. and according to our regular schedule, it's now a time for a meditation class. And the usual way of dealing with this class is usually give some instructions for about 15 minutes. And once those basic instructions are complete, then we do maybe 40 to 45 minute meditation. And that meditation begins, as usual, with some guided meditation for about 15 or 20 minutes. The reason we do that guided meditation to begin with is to lead people into reasonably peaceful states of mind, and from there to let them go so they can go deeper by themselves. And it is very much like when you first learn how to drive a car in busy traffic. You do need to have a driving instructor sitting next to you, otherwise you crash. And that driving instructor sitting next to you just gives you little bits of clues, advice of what to do, as suggestions, and that little by little you find yourself being trained into how to use the appropriate mechanisms, if you like, to meditate and get some peace in your mind. And that will be the beginning of the meditation. And then afterwards there'll be the opportunity for questions about meditation. And of course, I think you all know by now that these classes are live streamed overseas and also within Australia to places which don't have opportunity to listen to meditation instructions. So we also get many questions from overseas as well. But as I came in today, in here, I just noticed these flowers here. And it reminded me of one of the similes of meditation which I worked on for many, many years ago, which was the story of the 1,000-petal lotus. And I thought it'd be a nice time to introduce that simile, because it is a simile which has been used in Buddhism in meditation for many, many centuries. And for some of us, we recognize that by the old Vajrayana chant of Om Mani Padme Hum, but many people don't know what that means. And the Om and the Hum in the end, it's just words of like praise or reverence. The two most important words are the Mani Padme, and Mani Padme literally means the jewel, and Padme in the heart of the lotus. So it means like praise to the jewel in the heart of the lotus. So here we have a lotus, and what is that jewel, and how do we find out what it is? So we can have personal experience of it. And that is the path of meditation. Now you see this lotus over here is open, this one over here is closed. Now, how do you open up a lotus? You can't take it and peel it, otherwise I get in trouble for destroying the stuff on the shrine here. Instead, you put the lotus out in the sun. And when that lotus bud receives the light and the warmth of the sun, then it opens up. When the first layer of petals opens up, it allows the second layer of petals to receive the warmth and light of the lotus. Is it working? Is it working okay? Okay. That allows the next layer of petals to receive the light and warmth of the sun, so they can open up. And the petals of the lotus open up one by one after the other. And when one layer of petals opens up, the layer of petals inside now can receive the warmth and light of the sun, so they can open up. And that way, the 1,000-petal lotus opens up one layer at a time. And the next layer of petals, people forget that the path of Buddhism is a very kind, compassionate path. That compassion is essential to the path of meditation. And as you've heard me say before, when you sit down to meditate, be kind to your body. In other words, find a good posture for it. Kind to the mind. And that kindness and that awareness, when they go together, sometimes I've called that in some of the talks and books, kindfulness. Like mindfulness, but instead of the M, put a K in front. Kindfulness. And that's incredibly powerful. So how does this actually work? So when you sit down, the first thing which you are aware of, naturally, is your body. You're here, sitting. Is it warm? Is it cold? Are you comfortable? How are you? And this is what you become aware of, first of all. So sometimes when people say, oh, I'm meditating, what should I be mindful of? You're mindful of the most important thing happening right now. What's right in front of your mind in this moment? And that will be, first of all, your body. And so you're mindful and kind. And as you know, you've heard me say many times, when you're mindful and kind to your body, as you begin the meditation, then you can adjust your body, adjust your legs. Right now, how are your legs? Are they comfortable? I'm very pleased to see, because you're right in front, they can't miss you. These chairs are sometimes not the best height for everybody, so that if your legs aren't very long, you put a cushion underneath your feet, and that makes you more comfortable. If you've really got long legs, then you can put the cushion underneath your bottom, and it's like it raises the bottom of the chair up. It makes it comfortable for you. And you can also, if you're sitting on a chair, you can try moving your feet apart, moving them together. Find out what is the most comfortable. That's gentle kindness. And also you find out you need to lean back on the chair or lean forward, left or right. Find out what is the most comfortable for your body. Now this is not indulging your body. You find this is being wise to your body. And when you're kind to your body, wise with your body, you find your body becomes very comfortable, incredibly comfortable. So you can sit here and it's like just having been to a spa or been on soaking in a pool or somewhere. Your body feels really great because it's relaxed. And that is the job. Now once your body is relaxed and at peace, what happens next? Because your body is not doing anything, it's comfortable, relaxed, it's not giving you any business, nothing to do. What happens next is the body kind of disappears. You go inside to the next layer of petals of your lotus. And when I didn't have a lotus here, I put my hands up like this, like imitating a closed lotus. The first layer of petals opens up. It's your body. And inside your body, of course, that is your mind. And so first of all, I ask you, are you peaceful? How peaceful? Really peaceful or just unpeaceful? Not to judge it, but to be kindful of it, knowing it without sort of comparing. What that means is they become aware of peace. And for me, that's the best thing to start with when you're getting in contact with what's inside the body, in your mind. Now, little by little, that you find that the peace, sometimes you call it being in the present moment. Because you'll notice that if you start going off into the future or the past, you said, that's not peaceful at all. I don't know what you have to do this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow. I don't know what you have to do, but thinking about it now does not help. Even, there's no 16 or 17-year-olds here right now, but there's the kids who are doing the Year 12 exams. And this is classic exam technique to do well in exams. Please stay in your present moment. Don't go worrying about the exams which are going to come tomorrow. Don't go thinking about the exams which have just passed. You can't change them now. Pass or fail, it's all over, the morning exam. But what you really do need to do is to rest and re-energize your brain. And that happens in the present moment. So learning how to let go of fear of the future, worry about what happened in the past, which is quite hopeless. Stay in this moment with kindfulness and you energize. So you're going inside of this layer of petals we call time. And the next layer of petals you go inside is thinking, giving things names, which is part of judging. You know, you don't have to name things. As I mentioned to, I think, monks recently, when you name things, it's like you have power over them. If it's good or bad, or it's mine or somebody else's, that is actually where you have a lot of business to do. The thinking tires you out. If you can just leave things alone and be silent, just being here, quiet, you do find that the peace gets stronger. And you don't need to think of everything all the time. So little by little, we become quiet, silent. And that's like the next layer of petals. So we've gone from body to the mind in the present moment, and then to silence. We're going in all the time. And as you go in, it's like you can sort of sometimes hear some thoughts, but they're out there somewhere. Sometimes you can have glimpses of the future or the past in which you lived, but they're way over there somewhere. You're going in and centering in. If you'd like to know what I mean, I gave this simile to the monks the last talk on Wednesday. It's like the days, I still have a good memory, the days when you used to go travelling on aircraft. Do you remember those days? 2 or 3 years ago. But anyway, when you're sitting in the seat and you're told to watch the in-flight safety video, and that's on this little screen, embedded in the back seat of the seat in front of you. When you first start looking at that screen, you can actually see the upholstery of the seat in front of you. You see the grey plastic, which is the rim, the edge of the screen, and then inside of that you can see the picture which you're supposed to be watching. And I recall so many times sort of looking at that and noticing that when I first watched that little screen, you can see the upholstery of the seat. But as you naturally focus in, you can't see the upholstery anymore. You can only see the rim and the screen. A little bit longer, you just see what's on the screen. It's like you zoom in, you focus in, and what's on the edge falls away and disappears from your perceptual field. And that's exactly what happens when you're meditating. You go into something, and what's on the edge falls away. You're going in to the central petals of the lotus. And of course, this really works well, this simile, as you go deep in the meditation. Quite naturally, you'll find the closer you go into the center of the lotus, the closer you get to the middle, the more beautiful it is, the more attractive it is. It's like it pulls you in, because the mind loves to see things which are beautiful and joyful. So little by little, as you're watching sort of the mind, watching this all happen, you go in to the present moment, into the silence. And then usually what happens, this is not something you choose. It happens naturally. The person often becomes aware of their breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. And sometimes you ask why. And the answer is because that's the only thing left moving inside of you. And you can't really turn your attention away from it. You don't need to. So after a while you become aware of the breath coming in, the breath coming out. Not forcing to do this, not choosing to do this. It's like all those words, they've moved off screen. And the time has moved off screen. And your body, you can hardly feel it. You're going inwards, in towards the center. And of course, what happens next is the really juicy part of meditation. Because inside just the ordinary breath, and what you're breathing in, breathing out, inside of that you start to see what we call the delightful breath. What's actually happening there is the breath is now being seen not through the sense of physical touch, not through that sense base, but it's now starting to be seen through the sense of the mind, the sixth sense. You're knowing the breath rather than feeling the breath. And because you're becoming more and more calm, it becomes very beautiful. And those of you who've read or seen the examples of how the Buddha taught meditation, that breath becomes so joyful. Weird thing to say. Your in-breath and out-breath becomes so wonderful to watch. And I mean that. So you don't have to try. You don't put forth effort. It draws you in. And as it draws you in, you become more and more peaceful. Sometimes if I didn't explain it like this, people get scared. They're enjoying meditation. There must be something wrong. Oh my goodness. That's what's supposed to happen. If you're enjoying it, well done. That's what's supposed to happen. At least you're only just starting. And soon, that meditation, that breath becomes very beautiful. You're going inwards. And sometimes the beauty is so strong, the joy is so powerful, that what you start to watch now becomes what we call this light in the mind, a nimitta. You're going inside the lotus. And there you see these beautiful lights, which happen. And I mention this because it doesn't happen every meditation, but sometimes it happens for you. And when it happens, don't be afraid, just allow yourself to go into it, to be drawn in. These beautiful lights. Have a wonderful time. And of course, inside that layer of lotus petals, what people say, what should I be doing? Just kindfulness. Just be aware and just be compassionate. Open the door of your heart to whatever's happening with a sense of softness and joy. Because that kindness and that awareness will keep you stable. You don't have to do anything. This is a not doing. And little by little, that nimitta will become so beautiful and stable. Those are the two parts of the nimitta which need to be developed. Its stability and its power. And then you go inside of that. You go into the next layer of petals. In the next layer of petals, that's called, you've heard me say this before, the first jhana. The first jhana is right inside the nimitta. How you get from one to the other is just through kindfulness. I'd also add patience, because sometimes people say, it's not happening. It's only 5 minutes have gone past, come on. Be patient, be kind, be gentle, and then little by little you find the mind goes inside. And as it goes deeper inside the lotus, some of you have done a lot of meditation before. Inside the first jhana, that's where you find the second jhana, deeper in, more things vanish, more refined. Inside of that, the third, the fourth, and all the way to the jewel in the center of the lotus that is your body and mind. That's actually how you go inside. And if you want to know what's in the jewel in the center of the lotus, it's 20 minutes gone past already, so I'll let you know at the end. So, if you now like to adjust your posture, if you need to, and we can start going inside the lotus that is you, your body and mind. What's in the center of you? So, if you'd like to close your eyes, if you haven't already. And with the eyes closed, you've already gone to a little bit in the center. All the perceptions of outside your body, outside of this hall, starting to disappear. You can't see them. You've got some birds chanting or singing outside. You'll find even if they keep singing, after a while, those sounds go further and further away from you. That's how it feels as you go inside. And it's like that after a while you can't hear them anymore. But first of all, with your body, please look after your body. How is it sitting right now? Is this a posture, position, which you can sustain easily for the next 40 minutes? It's okay to move, but it's disturbing. So it's better if you can get it right at the beginning. And it also shows that you're careful. So I'm careful of my legs, making sure they are at ease. Making sure my butt is on a meditation cushion. Making sure it's well positioned on that. Making sure my back feels good. Today I just really want to make it nice and straight. Feels good. And then, front of my body, if there's any aching digestive tract or tummy or lungs or anything. I do have hay fever, so the lungs feel a bit sort of hard worked. So I stay with those feelings which I recognize as unusual. And relax. And those feelings get less intense, less bothersome. The body heals itself very well. I just need to give it a chance by not tensing up around anything inside my body. And I get to my shoulders, make sure they're relaxed. Imagine them as strings being stretched on each end. And letting go. See why we use that word letting go or letting be a lot? Because it relaxes the body, makes it easy to meditate. I go down my arms, my hands, checking them. And never rush this part of the meditation, because it gives you an interesting thing to watch at the beginning, And it tends to stop you going into thoughts and fantasies and expectations. And it gives rise to a peaceful, healthy body, which is really worthwhile. As my hands are happy, and I go up to my neck, making sure that's well relaxed. I never expect perfection. My throat is still a little bit itchy from the hay fever. But when I am mindful of it with kindness, the irritations get to the minimal. My throat feels good. I go to the face. The muscles around the eyes and the mouth. Relax to the max. And of course, once you are aware of those areas for long enough, you learn about them. You find you can, just by deciding, choosing, you can relax those muscles. And every time you do this, you become more skilled at it, until you can relax those muscles so easily. And with it, some of the emotional tightness, which causes the muscles to tighten up, that is also relieved. It's not just calming your body. It's starting to calm some of your mind. Until you're just watching, not just the face, but the whole body sitting here. You're checking the whole lot, making sure everything is in a good position. And the body feels good. And every stage of the meditation there's a delight there somewhere. It's the joy, the happiness which helps go deeper in meditation. It means you're happy to be here. And I usually like staying with the delightful body. I'm over 70 years old now and still my body's really relaxed. Not much aches or pains. And then I go to my peaceometer. Ask myself, how peaceful are you right now? It's like I'm going inside my body, into the mind, the inner workings. And when I ask a question which is really important for meditation, how peaceful are you? Then I know how to strengthen that peace, deepen it, stabilize it. I'm not going to worry about anything, which means I'm going to abandon the future. Whatever happened in the past, it's gone. So all I have left is this moment. And the more I center into this moment, like going in the center of a lotus, going in the center of time to now. It's not that difficult a thing to do. What does it feel like when the future seems so distant and the past, you can hardly catch it, it's gone. Every sound of that bird only lasts a moment, and it goes. How does that feel? Can you see the delight in this moment. And after a while you just keep going in, and you find that there's nothing much to say. You don't have to give a comment. That part of your brain, you can relax, turn off for a while. Inside and now, there is silence, stillness. The way to sustain that awareness, again, is being kind to it. Just like you meet a good friend, you don't want to leave them. You're hanging out together, chilling out together. See if you and the silence can be friends. So you hang out together, enjoying each other's company. It will happen by itself. Soon you become aware of your breathing. It's still moving. Don't try and stop it. Be kind to it. Be a friend to your breath. Comes in and goes out. And the less you do, the less you react, the less air is needed in your lungs. Things become calm. And as they become calm, see if you can notice the joy, the happiness of peace. Just sitting there, just watching the breath come in and the breath go out. Just like you're in some remote private beach on a calm day, just watching the waves. The waves come up the shore so slowly, so gently. Little ripples coming up and then going away. Air coming into your body, breath going out. Peaceful, calm. Just let that stillness, that peace, get stronger. Don't want it to happen, otherwise you'll disturb it. And who knows? The mind might really energize. If it does, the happiness gets strong. These beautiful lights come in the mind, the breath vanishes. You go inside of it, like inside the petals of the lotus, to a more beautiful layer of petals. And keep going that way. See what happens. I'm going to be quiet now until the end of the meditation. So it is getting close to the end of this meditation period, unfortunately. How do you feel inside? How distant are you from the outside world? And how beautiful, peaceful, trouble-free is that inner home where things stop moving. So much energy which is wasted inside just turns to clarity and energy and joy. I will now ring the gong 3 times as usual to mark the end of this meditation period. There we go. Oh, that's nice. So hopefully that was nice and peaceful for you. At the very least gives you a taste of what the mind can be like. Are there any questions here about the meditation before we go to the questions from overseas? Okay, questions from the internet. If we've got none. No, it's nice to be able to answer the questions. No, from online? Anything? One of the reasons we like the online questions crossed my legs and just sat and meditated for 2 hours. And you get some joyful, beautiful meditations. And then when I came out of the meditation, I didn't know it was 2 hours, but later on looked at the clock, yeah, it's about 2 hours. And then when you come out afterwards, first thing I thought was, you have gratitude. Gratitude for your teacher. He just gave a brilliant talk and just beautiful meditation afterwards. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I went to see if I could do a duty for him. So I walked towards the sauna. I was too late. He was walking the other direction. We were going to pass. And a lot of you know what's coming next, but that doesn't detract from me telling the story. It's beautiful. And as we were crossing paths, when it was about a couple of meters from me, he stopped, I stopped. And I don't mind telling you this, and this is not exaggeration. He read my mind. You could feel him inside. My mind was really powerful, peaceful, and he just checked me out. And obviously realized I had a deep meditation. So he tried his very best, to give me that last little push, into being enlightened. So he looked at me and just asked me this simple question, Brahmawangsa, why? Nothing intellectual, like what's the meaning of the dependent origination, or what's the real meaning of the Four Noble Truths or something. Just a very powerful question. In Thai, it was Tammai, which means, like in English, why? Simple. Why? And I was peaceful for a moment, and I answered, I don't know. That's what I said, I don't know. Because I had a nice meditation, but I was still a young monk. Still didn't know really what was going on. And one of the beautiful things in the tradition in which I grew up, when you say something like that, your teacher just laughs. He thinks it's so funny. You have all these degrees and gone to great universities, but underneath really you're still stupid. And he laughed his head off, and then he stopped laughing. He looked at me again and said, I'll tell you the answer. And that was really exciting, because he knew this was a great monk. What he said was very powerful. And he said the answer is, if anyone ever asks you that question, why? The answer is, Mai Mi Arai. That's a Thai, and that means there's nothing. There's nothing. And then he looked at me again and said, Brahmawangsa, do you understand? And I said, yes. And he said, no, you don't. And then walked away. I was so high for a few minutes, but as soon as he said that, you don't understand, and I had to agree with him, I felt so low. But it's a wonderful experience, because you got a great teaching. There's nothing at the heart of the lotus. Okay, another question's come up here, thank you. From the USA, does observing your feelings and physical reaction of anxiety can be termed as meditation? That has helped me relieve my anxiety, but still I have a little anxiety. Now, all those things are wonderful. There's so many different types of meditation, but as you go deeper and deeper, become more and more still, then you get things disappearing. Your body can just sit here for hours. And you get the really juicy, I call it juicy meditation. Anxiety comes and goes, but just when sicknesses go, cancers vanish, and your whole body's gone, and you can actually see so deeply into the nature of things. Those are the ones which are just really the juicy stuff. But it should never diminish the importance of just observing feelings and physical reaction of anxiety, and just how that helps you enormously. But it doesn't finish there. When anxiety has disappeared, you go even deeper. Keep going deeper and deeper and deeper in. The deeper you go in, the more powerful your meditation becomes. Still call it meditation, call it spiritual practice, whatever you wish to call it. It's all beneficial. Okay, now we have a question. Is there any questions from the floor? People here? Because if there's not, then we can call it a day. As soon as this meeting here is finished, I'm going back to Bodhinyana Monastery to check that everything's ready for this big ceremony tomorrow. Once a year we have a huge ceremony over in Jhana Grove. It'll be scheduled over in Jhana Grove Bodhinyana Monastery, and it's like a dinner ceremony. A couple of thousand people we expect. There's a lot of things to organise there. And it's a royal katina. So we have a robe there come from the King of Thailand to be presented. It has to be done properly. So, and again, who's the one in charge? Who's the bloke in charge? So I take responsibility for that and make sure everything is. But I've got lots and lots and lots and lots of helpers. So, last chance for question before I skedaddle to get things ready. Okay, so now we can actually, thank you for those questions. I hope I didn't go too deep today, but I thought I saw these lotuses here and I thought they reminded me of the 1,000-petal lotus simile. I thought, yeah, why not? Okay, so now let's bow 3 times to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and then you can go and do what you need to do. This time we bow, but no chanting.